Despite South Africa being one of the most advanced markets in terms of integrated reporting of ESG factors in the world, climate-related financial disclosure is still in its relative infancy. While this is changing and levels of disclosure are increasing fast, significant effort is still required before local climate-related financial disclosures will provide sufficient information for investors to make informed investment decisions. A detailed analysis of the public reporting of more than 50 of the largest JSE-listed companies against the recommendations of the TCFD as part of this South Africa-UK Pact-funded project confirmed that climate-related disclosures by listed companies in South Africa are much more widespread than expected. This is driven largely by existing ESG disclosure practices, with the CDP playing a lead role. Two-thirds of companies assessed reported against CDP, and these companies provided better climate-related disclosures than their peers that did not report against the CDP. Disclosure varied by TCFD pillar and within pillars, with the most detailed disclosures happening against the governance and risk management pillars. In terms of the TCFD's governance reporting pillar, almost all companies, 95%, indicated board-level oversight of climate-related risks and opportunities. Incentives offered to company management for climate-related performance, however, were typically measured against general ESG or sustainability targets rather than explicit climate-related performance targets. In terms of reporting on the TCFD's climate-related risk management, company practices were relatively well entrenched, with 78% of companies having disclosed processes for identifying, assessing, and managing climate-related risks, and 74% disclosed how this was incorporated into their overall risk management practices. In terms of the TCFD's strategy pillar, 80% of companies disclosed identified climate-related risks and opportunities, and almost as many provided information on how these risks and opportunities influenced their corporate strategies. Only 23% of companies, however, used scenario analysis to identify risks and opportunities. While more than 90% of companies disclosed their greenhouse gas (GHG) emissions, fewer, 62%, had climate-related targets in place. Targets largely focused on operational emissions and ignored supply chain emissions as part of those linked to electricity use. Furthermore, financial sector companies provided very little disclosure of the financial GHG emissions linked to their loan and investment portfolios, indicating a significant underestimation of the climate-related risks they face. Given the vulnerability of South Africa to both physical and transition risks, the increasingly supportive local regulatory landscape, and growing familiarity to the TCFD's recommendations, there is little reason to doubt that local companies and investors will increasingly align with international climate-related financial disclosure best practices. For more detail on the issues covered in this video, please see the report outlining the state of climate-related financial disclosure development as part of this South Africa-UK Pact-funded project. We would like to thank South Africa-UK Pact for supporting this educational video. For more information about South Africa-UK Pact, please visit ukpact.co.uk.